Greetings, royal family. All right, I am back for episode 3 of the final season of Greenleaf. Thanks for clicking on the video. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Episode opens up with Grace. She's chilling by her lake on the family compound. And Darius rolls up. I call him Rick Fox, but his name is Darius on the show. He shows up with black coffee and a smile. He's basically coming to let her know that he's on his way to Vegas to check out that tip on Edenvale lending. So Darius, he was fired from his job, but it seems to roll off of his back. So he does have time to complete this investigation. And it just made me smile that even though he was fired from his job because I guess he was snooping around too much as it pertains to Bob Whitmore, he's still willing to go through with this situation so that he could get information about the Greenleaf Church and all things Greenleaf. He loves Grace. I like Darius. I do. I as far as Noah's concerned, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I like Darius. So as he's leaving, he's smiling, and she's like, "I wish I could go with you." He kisses her on the cheek, and he gets in his car and he drives off. And in my head, Mariah Carey's Vision of Love just came to mind when he kissed her and he walked off. Kissed her on the cheek real nice and soft. So sweet. This man willing to risk his career for this woman that he loved. Anyway, oh God, Carissa and Jacob. So Jacob, he's sleeping, and Carissa decides to wake him up and berate him about not working, and she's bragging about, "Oh, I'm on my way to work," and she's telling him what to do. You need to pick up Winky from Latin class or whatever it is, or chess class, and you need to do this and need to do that. And then she also brings up the fact, this is why I want primary custody. Jacob tells her, if this is the way it's going to be, then you should just move out. Now, I have a feeling that Lady Mae is going to take care of that real soon. Speaking of the Lady Mae and Bishop, they are sitting around the table and they're trying to come up with a name for their new church. The banter between these two, I love it. Like Bishop, he mentions a name and Lady Mae says, "You don't remember that there's a church right around the corner, by that same name? We took Zora there, apple picking or something like that." And he says, he remembers, he says, "Yes. And you got lost." She says, "No, you got lost. I had to lead us to the exit, or lead us to the way, or whatever." Bishop says, "Well, thank you, Moses." The banter between the two of them, I love it. I love it. So Mae tells James that she wants him to get a physical. Why did she do that? His voice got so robust and strong. And he replies, "I'm as fit as a racehorse." Mae, she pays him no mind. She says, "Yes, and racehorses die every day." I love it. The timing between these seasoned actors is just great. So in between this, in the middle of this back and forth with them two, Charity, she walks in and Bishop asks her to sit down because he wants to talk to her. So she's in a rush and she's like, "I got to go to work," and she attempts to walk off, and Lady Mae tells her, "Sit down like your father asked you to." And of course she complies. So Charity, she gets beside herself. Before Bishop even said anything, she gets beside herself and she says to Bishop that she's not singing at his new church. So Mae, she gets annoyed and she tells her, "Fine, go on and debase yourself with that husk of a church, dancing in attendance on that greasy Negro and that wrinkled up asparagus of a woman." Baby, I wonder if the writers are writing this for Mae or if Lady Mae is giving her input, because baby, the way she delivered that line, she is over Charity, okay? And like she said later on in the episode, she would have kicked her out a long time ago. She's lucky that she's even still living here. If it wasn't for Bishop, Lady Mae would have nothing to do with Charity. So Bishop, he gets loud and he said, "That's enough, Mae." And Mae tells James, "Only God can talk to me like that, James, and you will be having a physical soon." In other words, you must have lost a little bit of mind that you got left. Okay. Bishop, he then offers the AP, the associate pastor position to Charity. And Charity tells Bishop that she's already an AP. Where? Where's Charity an associate pastor at? It certainly isn't Harmony and Hope. Delusions of grandeur. So Lady May, of course, she kicks up again with her snappy remarks. She says, Charity, do you not see it is only a matter of time before these two people have you rocking their little cinnamon milk baby to sleep like a mammy? When I tell you that I had to rewind that twice until I memorized that line, Lady May is over it. She is not playing with anybody this season. She is being nasty. She is being cutthroat. She is keeping it real. She has no filter. Not that she had much of a filter before, but she is not playing with Charity. And quite frankly, I think that she was a little bit annoyed that Bishop was even asking Charity to be a part of this new venture as far as the Greenleaves are concerned, building a new church. And of course, she is not going to publicly, she is going to, be a team player. But I think that she is very angry at the fact that Bishop is even asking Charity to be a part of it because she wants nothing to do with it. Charity claims that she has a plan. Did it ever occur to you, Mama, that I have a plan? Lady May says, did it ever occur to me? No. I'm just okay, Charity girl. Lady May knows that her child is foolish. But girl, if you say you have a plan, I hope so. I mean, what else? It can only go up from here, I guess. So we shift gears to Tasha and Jacob. Woo, look at Tasha. So he shows up at her place, and when she opens the door, she is dressed like she is ready for a hot date. Okay. And they're on their way to meet with Basie's other half sister. Basie's sister. Let's just say Basie's sister. I call her Rochelle 2.0. I don't remember her name. Because I could have sworn that, I'm like, is that Rochelle? Like, disguised as somebody? Who is this woman? Did they replace Rochelle? But it's a completely different sister. So this woman, she's the daughter of Daryl James. So her and Basie share the same father. Now, Daryl James is the man that died in that church fire years ago, right? So she feels that Bishop is to blame for her daddy's death. Now, I don't believe that Basie is dead. I just don't. She ended up talking to somebody on the phone when Tasha and Jacob left. And I think that she was talking to Basie because Jacob did ask Tasha, like, how did you find out that Basie died? And she said that, basically the police call her. And she didn't say that she had to go identify a body, much like Ghost in Power. If I don't see a body, then I don't, we can't confirm that the person is deceased. But I don't think Basie's dead. I think he faked his death. He had people after him anyway, and he wants his revenge as far as the Greenleafs is concerned. Anyway, we'll come back to them. Let's move along to the girl fight, or the little cat fight, right? So we see Sophia and Zora, they're talking, and then Nikki ends up walking in, and Sophia and Nikki, they get into a little squabble because Sophia feels that Nikki was the one that who posted her pics all online. Now, in the midst of their little exchange of words, Nikki says to Sophia, at least I can have babies. And Zora ends up kicking Nikki out. They end up shoving and pushing each other. So Zora kicks Nikki out, and she tells her not to come back. And then Zora turns to Sophia and says, I swear I didn't say anything. I don't believe Zora, but if Sophia told Dante, like, what if Sophia told Dante that, her situation and her, her medical situation, and then he was the one that told Nikki? Anything's possible. I also thought about Sophia being pregnant. I know she had surgery last season, and the doctors told her that she can never have children, but y'all know that these doctors be lying sometimes. So what a plot twist that would be. Could that be the reason for her moods? Of course, she lost her virginity to Dante only for him to get back with Nikki. So of course she's emotional about that. She could be emotional because she had, I don't know if she had a full hysterectomy, partial hysterectomy. Her hormones could be all over the place, or could it be that she's pregnant? It's just a theory. Don't go crazy in the comments. It's just a theory. All right, so Noah, he shows up to the house, right? Oh boy. Now, Grace is like, I can't even get rid of this guy. So he shows up to the house, and Lady May, she is so excited to see him. You know, she offers him his old quarters in the guest house that Zora is currently occupying. Can you imagine that? Anyway, Grace, she gets upset and she walks off, right? Lady May, she's just like, well, what did I say? You know what I mean? She, of course, brings up the fact that Grace gave AJ away and Noah knew nothing about him. So she walks off. You know, she's overstepping her bounds. Of course, she's being rude and very nasty. Bishop ends up following behind Grace, and he admits, look, you know, what your mother said was definitely nasty. He offers her some sort of comfort, but he does tell Grace that, you know, she and Noah need to work together if they plan on bringing AJ back on track. He then brings up the fact that that could be the reason why Faith is no longer here, because had Bishop and Lady May been on one accord, maybe they would have been able to offer more help to Faith. And he says, you know, he knows that's the reason why your mother's being very, very nasty, you know. We move on to see Charity and Phil. Oh, God. He tells her that he and Judy want Charity's voice to be heard. And she thinks, hey, you guys want me to preach? Not quite, Charity. Relax. Phil also, you know, wants Charity to help Judy with the music ministry. So, Charity, whatever this plan is, sis, I really hope it's good. Moving along, let's go back to Jacob and Tasha. So they meet up with this Rochelle 2.0, and Jacob is trying to get the truth in all of this. He just wants the truth. And, you know, you got to be careful what you ask for, Jacob, because you could be opening up a can of worms that you may not be ready to digest. And I'm just saying, but it makes for good TV. So this woman tells Jacob that her father, Daryl, received a phone call the night that he was killed in the church fire. Now, Jacob thinks that it might have been Mac that called her father. He says to her, to Rochelle 2.0, how can you be so sure that it was my father that called Daryl? She says, well, Basie always said that, you know, he got a phone call, that their dad got a phone call the night of the fire saying that Bishop wants to meet with him. Now, I think it was Mac for sure. You know, the fact that Jacob even brought that up, saying like, how do you know it wasn't Mac, lets me know, Jacob, you know the slime ball that your uncle really is. Like Jacob bringing up Loretta Davis, who was on the will. He brought that up to Rochelle 2.0, and then all of a sudden she doesn't want to answer any more questions. And again, as Jacob and Tasha are leaving, Rochelle 2.0 is on the phone with someone, and I think it's Basie. All of this is Mac's fault. I'm going to keep saying that until I can't say it no more. All right, back at the hospital. Noah and Grace, they're in the waiting room, and Sophia walks in, and she heads to AJ's room. He called her earlier, and he wanted to see her. So AJ tells Sophia, look, I plan on leaving. I wanted to see you one last time. Let me tell you, AJ is so aggravating that he has Sophia in the hospital cussing. Okay? She tells him, look, I've been through a lot too. I was in the hospital. I can't have kids. She said, I'm sick of all of this bull-ish. She lets him know that if he doesn't tell her what's going on, she will have nothing to do with him going forward. We shift gears to Charity and Phil. He thanks her for helping Judy, and she throws him all the shade. You know what I mean? She's just like, whatever, you know, rolling her neck and all this other stuff. And then she says, what is it? What do you want? My son is waiting on me. I'm like, sis, your son has been waiting on you since season 4. That's Marisol's son now. Like, you remember she had a son? Anyway, back to Jacob and Tasha. So he drops Tasha off in her little, you know, her hot all black ensemble. Okay, I saw you looking, Jacob. And they're in the car. She asks him, hey, you know, do you want to come in? And then she just she's so nervous and she just blurts it out. She wants to know if Jacob really liked her or if it was just all fake. And he tells her, yes, yes, he does really like her. And he's willing to get to know her better once his divorce is final. So she says, you and Carissa are getting divorced? She is so happy to hear that, right? So then she leans in for a kiss to kiss Jacob. And he stops her and says, let's do it right this time. And, I was thinking, I said, oh, Jacob is so sweet. I was like, that's right, Jacob. She said, you are really a good man, Jacob Greenleaf. And I said, he is, right? Yes, do it the right way. I still think that I still think that he's a good man, right? However, I think that he is pumping the brakes with Tasha because he doesn't trust her. Because I normally watch the show twice, like first for my enjoyment and then to go through my organized little notes. But then when I'm watching it the second time, the way that he looked at her when she got out of the car, either way, he did the right thing in that moment. No need to get caught up in a lust trap right now. You got things to do. But I think that a part of him does not trust her. And he can't. It's too much right now. Anywho, Jacob and Carissa. So he walks in and so Jacob is back home. He tells Carissa, she's on the phone berating, no, he still hasn't found a job yet. Just basically he ain't nothing. So she was on the phone with her lawyer and he walks in and he tells Carissa, hey, call your lawyer back and call off the deal because I want shared custody. So her dangling that will over his head is no longer working because she says, oh, yes, and I will what did she say? Good enough for your father to be in jail or bad enough for your father to be in jail or something like that. He holds his hands up. He says, look, my father's either guilty or he's innocent. You know what I'm saying? He either belongs in jail or he doesn't. It is what it is. So she's like, Jacob. Game over, Carissa Chlamydia. Oh, I can't wait till Lady Mae puts her out. You guys remember when Lady Mae slapped her? I don't think it was last season. It might have been season 3 or season 4, whatever season it was. I think Lady Mae needs to revisit that slap. And she's on edge too, Lady Mae. So Carissa, you might just get slapped up. Anyway, so again, like I said, holding that will over his head is not working. I hope though that Jacob does not tell Carissa about the other will that he found in Mac's fishing box. I hope he doesn't say anything. Just Carissa, go away. Anyway, so Jacob is making his rounds, honey. Okay, he's probably frustrated because he wanted a piece of Tasha, but he want to do it right this time. He wants Carissa out of his house. He wants this divorce finalized so he could get some of Tasha. He's probably sexually frustrated. Anyway, Jacob is making his rounds, so he heads over to his father's quarters, who's on the treadmill, because he's basically trying to, I guess, fudge the... He's going for a physical, right? Lady Mae let it be known. I already set up the appointment. He's like, what? Now, why is he so opposed to getting a physical? See, all this secret keeping with this family is a bit much. Anyway, be sure to like the video, guys. I don't know if you did. Drop your comments as well during the commentary. I love engaging with you guys. Anyway, so Jacob is on Pastor's on the treadmill or whatever, getting his workout on. Jacob don't care about that. He got business to handle. So he asked his father if he was the one that called Daryl to come to the church the night of the fire. Bishop is confused as to why Jacob is asking. He said, why are you asking me this? He said, did you call? Jacob got bass in his voice now. So Bishop says no. Jacob tells him about the will that he found. He didn't tell him where he found it. I noticed that. Bishop says that he has the will that shows that the house was left to Bishop and May. Jacob says, yes, I understand that. I've seen that will and it's all good, but there is another will. Now, please keep in mind, I can't stress this enough, that Jacob found this will in Mac's fishing box that was in Mac's secret storage unit. I think Bishop doesn't know, but then again, he has memory loss, so we don't know. You see, the writers are playing with us here. But I'd like to believe that Bishop doesn't know about that will that Jacob found. I'd like to believe that. Mac is a slime ball. Everything is his fault anyway. So Jacob said what he said. We shift gears to Lady May and Charity. You know, this is a very interesting scene. Her conversation with Charity, I think, was genius. I think that 50% of Lady May, she doesn't want to waste time being angry with Charity because she's still her child. She walked in the room and Lady May says, you know, I take no pleasure or no delight in your trauma, this tragic situation that's going on. And the other 50% is, I think that Lady May wants Charity on board with the formation of this new church. I think that she knows that Bishop wants Charity on board. And I think that Lady May is going to need all the help that she can get and I think that's why she's on edge, because now, you know, Bishop's health is something's going on with his health. So I don't know if he's going to be, you know, at 100%. So even though I don't want to deal with Charity, and I think that she's a dunce and a fool, we need her. You know, Charity, they were thinking of names, and Lady May came in completely different than she was earlier that day, when she was saying that Charity gonna end up a mammy and all types of stuff. She had a softer tone. She act like none of it happened earlier that day. So she's like, for the life of me, I just can't think of a name. And she says, you know, Corinne is going to be, is that her name, Corinne? Is going to be in charge of music ministry. And she's like, I just can't think of a name. So Charity suggested the name Eternal Faith. And Lady May's just like, oh, that's so genius. You know, she just, that it is a good name. I did like the name. But she's just giving Charity so much. She's bigging her up, right? Making Charity feel good. Now, she also came in with and left Charity with a book of hymns that Charity had when she was younger. And in the cover, Charity wrote Reverend Charity Greenleaf. So Lady May, she knows what she's doing. You know what I'm saying? She knows what she's doing. She needs Charity on board, but she is not going to tell Charity, oh, I need you. Lady May is very, very, very cunning. Very cunning. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lady May had something to do with Daryl, okay, burning up in that church fire, being killed in that church fire. You never know with Lady May. Lady May might have been messing around with Daryl. Who knows? Anyway, all Charity needs and wants is to feel needed. And Lady May accomplished that with her subtle tone during their conversation in this scene and bringing Charity's old book of hymns. That was an excellent touch, like to remind her, like, you always wanted to preach. Why not preach with us? See, you know, you spoke this into existence when you were little. You know, I just thought it was a nice touch. She wasn't overbearing. She wasn't pushy. She did not insult Charity as she's been doing all season long. She was nice to her. So it gives her, Charity gives her something to think about, you know. All right, let's get back to Sophia and AJ in the hospital. All right, so Sophia then, she goes back into the waiting room after she done cussed AJ out. She goes back into the waiting room to let Grace know that AJ wants to see her. So she goes in to see him. AJ, he says, I'm going to tell you something. And after I say it, I don't want to talk about it. Grace is just like, okay. Because at this point, Grace is tired. Like, she is worn out. She is worn out. So he tells Grace that he was raped in prison. And one of the guys who did it gave him HIV. And that's where the episode ends. So AJ is supposed to be getting out on the next episode. And it seems that he wants to live with Noah. Noah's staying with his mama. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Lady May said something earlier on in the episode. She says that AJ is going to be living here and he should be living here with his like everybody should be one big happy family. And Grace is just like, we don't know where AJ is going to be living, right? So this is going to be one big mess. One big mess. A part of me, I don't know how to feel about AJ's revelation. It's unfortunate, and obviously that's why he has been behaving the way he's been behaving. He's probably embarrassed. He's upset. He's angry. Grace is going to continue to feel guilty. My thoughts, this is going to get a little lengthy, y'all. So if you want to pause and come back, because I want to do this all in one video. Here's my thoughts on some of the characters, right? Lady May, right? Her giving her unsolicited advice as it pertains to Noah and Grace as parents is nothing more than her guilt speaking. The last episode she meant when she was sitting on the steps with Grace, she mentioned to Grace that she wondered if she did quote unquote enough as it pertains to Faith, right? Faith committed suicide. AJ attempted to commit suicide. So this is all a trigger for Lady May, right? So Bishop, he basically confirmed that when he went to go console Grace after she walked away, right? Also, let's not forget that Lady May failed to mention to Grace that Bishop is not Grace's biological father. Had Grace not done her own investigation in previous seasons and then confront Lady May and force her to tell the truth, we all would still be thinking that Bishop was Grace's father, right? So when Lady May says, oh, one gave the child away and the other one didn't know that the child exists, interesting, Lady May, did Bishop know that Ray from Sister was Grace's father? He probably knew. Grace didn't know. The rest of the family didn't know. So it's so interesting how some of the things with them are parallel. As far as Jacob, I don't trust that Rochelle lookalike. She's either in communication with Basie or Rochelle or the woman who was on that will that Jacob was asking her about. And I said before that I do want Jacob and Tasha to be together. And I do like that he stopped her when she went to kiss him. You know, he also probably stopped her because that clap might not have cleared up. I'm just saying. Anyway, things definitely have shifted as it pertains to Jacob. You know, the assertive man that Carissa wants Jacob to be, he is. And it's backfiring on Carissa because he's being that against you. You know, it's not working in your favor. Him being assertive and standing up for himself and not being afraid or pushed around, it's not working in Carissa's favor. So she's losing steam. And I really want Lady May to serve Carissa with walking papers. It's going to happen. And I really hope Jacob knows what he's doing. Maybe he went to his father prematurely before he got information. But then again, his father might be the one to just kind of tie everything together since he's being forced to fess up. So there's a confession all around that's going to be made. So I love Bishop and Lady May, but they got a whole bunch of secrets. As far as Grace, oh my gosh, Grace. I think that she is going to snap and have a nervous breakdown before this season is over. It is interesting that her sister was sexually abused, you know, for years by Mac. And then she ended up committing, you know, suicide from all of the abuse and all the hush-hush and everything being put on the back burner. Now here it is. AJ admitted to being raped in jail and he contracted HIV and attempted to commit suicide. Like, these writers are really on fire. So I noticed the comparison between the two. No, it's not exactly identical for those sticklers out there, but you have to kind of follow along with the writers. And as far as Grace is concerned, her character, like the things that the traumas and the triggers and the things that she's dealing with. Anyway, remember, Grace left home because, you know, what Mac was doing to Faith and all of the secrecy and all of the fake, you know, putting on for the church type of stuff that was going on with the Greenleafs. And then she returns to bury her sister who committed suicide, right? And she's just been in a world of drama ever since. And I just see, unless Darius can like continue to keep her, you know, feeling all good and nice and, you know, appreciated and loved, I see a nervous breakdown on the horizon. You know, her past showed up with a vengeance. AJ, you know, she gave AJ up for adoption. No one knew that she was pregnant, you know, and she also has to deal with the shame of not letting Noah know about his existence. So Grace is being forced to face her past and she can't run from this like she did, you know, before. So AJ might be her son because he always trying to run when things get hot, right? He always wants to leave. Anyway, another revelation was that, again, Bishop wasn't her biological father. Lady May, you know, she kept that secret until Grace started asking questions. And it's interesting that Aaron became, remember him? Aaron became Charity's ex-husband's boyfriend. Then they discovered that they were half brother and sister, Grace and Aaron. So Grace is like her mama with the secret keeping, but a lot less dramatic. As far as Charity, again, she wants to feel wanted. She wants respect. She wants a title, especially in the church. Unfortunately, because she throws temper tantrums, she does usually get attention, but not the attention that she craves. But I guess any attention is better than none. Bishop, he wanted her to be AP of the family church. She declines and then goes to Hope and Harmony every day and is treated like the help and still ain't preaching. She just wants somebody to see her, and it's a sad sight. I don't know. Oh, and Bishop, I'm coming to a close, y'all. Bishop, my Bishop. In his younger years, Bishop probably had great intentions, right? Probably so full of passion and zeal for the word of the Lord. But at some point, he probably got a taste of that good life, quote unquote. And then Mac, slime ball, probably helped him satisfy that craving that grew and grew, the big house, the suits, the mega church. And then he just probably got in too deep. In Bishop's old age, he is suffering memory loss, which can be a gift and a curse. And although he has probably repented and turned away from his wicked ways, harvest time is not on hold. So we just see a lot of things coming up from their past. Bishop and the entire family, it seems they're paying for the things that Bishop and Lady May too participated in. As far as Bob Whitmore, the fact that he's come to town, sneaking around, taking over Calvary, causing all this commotion, I feel that he is tied to the Greenleafs some way, somehow. I still think that he does have something to do with AJ showing up. I don't know. Maybe the writers will go in a different direction, but I just think that Mac also knew Bob Whitmore, and it's all going to come out. So being that Mac is not here, it seems like the Greenleaves are paying for maybe a deal that Mac made with Bob Whitmore. Either way, I love the cliffhangers on each episode. All of this is Mac's fault. I still can't get these words out of my head when watching the show. Remember the AJ that showed up to see Grace in the graveyard? He said everything has an expiration date. Everything. And again, those were the words of the AJ lookalike that came to Grace at Faith's grave. I can't get, you see, everything is expired. A lot of things, time is up for a lot of things. The secrets are coming out. I still think that one of the characters is gonna go up yonder. I'm leaning towards Bishop, but I'm kind of hoping that it's Carissa. I'm just saying. All right, Royal Family. So this was a really, really in-depth review. I had to do my little character analysis, which I love to do. Be sure to like the video if you liked it. Drop your comments. Let me know what you think. I know it was a little bit long, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So I am signing off, and I will see you guys for episode 4, the 4th day. Until next time, Royals. Peace.